This is the winning formula that's been proven to win. You buy 2 properties a year. Every single year for the next 10 years, you'll have 20 properties, and that will set you free. But there's some special techniques you need to use to make this work. So come with me and I'll show you how. I've introduced the formula. Now we're going to dive into the facts. So let me talk about this: 2 houses a year, every single year for 10 years. Now, before I share with you what that's going to look like, I want to talk about ways in which your property increases in value. So when you try to buy a property through a realtor, more than likely it's going to be a retail price. They want to sell it at the best, highest price that they can, and therefore, this is not what we do. We don't pay retail. We only buy wholesale. And we want to get a bargain, so we want to lower its price. We want to buy lower. We want to maybe buy it 80% of its current market value. Wholesale is the word that we're going to use here. And most realtors don't sell wholesale, they sell retail, and we're investors. We got to get a bargain. As a business person, we want to get a better price, right? Now, the property is probably going to increase in value. And so let's just talk about what that might look like. It increases in value over a period of time through just ordinary appreciation. If we buy that property in a good neighborhood, so it has a chance of appreciating, then over a period of 10 years, it's probably going to double in value. So I call that ordinary appreciation, all right? Now, we're not going to just do ordinary appreciation. We want to do what I call forced appreciation. It means we want to make it go even higher in value over a 10-year period of time. More than likely, we'll do that in a focused time throughout the 10 years, but forced appreciation, let's increase its value even more. Now, how do you force a property to appreciate in value? Forced appreciation. Well, we put sweat equity into it. We add a room, we put a room up in the attic or a room in the garage, or we add some square footage, we paint it, we make it look better, we increase its size. And we do that with sweat equity. It doesn't require a lot of work to do that, but over a period of 10 years, you can literally increase its value by doing some extra work into it. In addition to that, if a property is close to a commercial area, perhaps you could change its zoning. And by just changing it from residential zoning to commercial zoning, you could probably double its value. So you can dramatically make a property increase in value with just a zoning change. In addition to that, you might turn it into a business. And a home, if it's rented out as a normal rental, it's just an ordinary rental, a monthly rental. But if you change it into a daily rental, you would increase its revenue. By increasing the revenue on a piece of real estate, you force its value to go up. Because as an investor, you're looking for cash flow. And if you can get that cash flow to be doubled, then the property value automatically increases in value. If you put it into maybe an assisted living situation where instead of renting out the 3 bedrooms to one family, you rent out the 3 bedrooms to 3 people who are maybe autistic or people who are elderly and need some extra help. There are government programs to do that, and you can triple, quadruple, sometimes 5 times the income that's flowing into that single family home. And therefore, you create a business out of it. And therefore, it's not just a home, it's a business. And therefore, it has dramatically increased value. And so you force the value to go up. Another way to force value to go up is to sell it with little or no money down. See, people who don't have money but have the dream of getting into a home are willing to pay more for a property, even though they might know that it's higher than, it's maybe even above retail. But if they can get in, just to get in the game, if they don't have a lot of good credit or if their down payment is low, they'd be willing to pay a higher price for a property. So there are a lot of ways of forcing a property to increase in value. But I want to just get you to think about what happens to a property over a period of time where its equity can go up. So what's the goal? The goal is to have 100% equity and zero mortgage. Therefore, all the money flows to you, not to the bank. And therefore, it's like an oil well in your backyard, pumping out cash every single month. And how'd you like to have 10 properties like that, or 20 properties like that, just pumping out cash every single month for you? That would be financial freedom, wouldn't it? So the equity, what we're talking about here is, how do I force equity? How do I create more value so that when I sell it, I can pay off other mortgages? So let's talk about our plan. This is the 20 properties. In the first year, you buy 2. Now, in the first year, they'll have some equity in it because you bought it wholesale. But as the time goes over the 5 years, 10 years, the property's going to increase in value. You're going to have more and more equity. And if you could force the equity even more, then therefore this equity starts going up and up and up over a 10-year period of time. The second year, you'll buy 2 more. And the third year, you'll buy 2 more. Eventually, you have 20 properties. The property average value of a property when you buy it is probably going to be going up as values increase over time. But remember, the mortgages are going to be going down because you're paying off the mortgages. We forgot to add that, didn't we? Yeah, I want to realize that as I pay that mortgage off, my equity goes up. Every time you make a monthly payment, the equity slowly increases. So eventually, you've got 3 or 4 ways of increasing your equity. Equity buildup, buying at wholesale, ordinary appreciation, forced appreciation. That's what these blue lines are here. This is the equity. And over a 10-year period of time, let's look at our 10 properties as if we've owned them over a 10-year period of time. You can have some of them with very high equities because of forced appreciation or ordinary appreciation, equity buildup. The ones we buy towards the end are going to have, higher mortgages on them and smaller amounts of equity. What we do at the end of 10 years? Do you want to retire? Well, what could you do to retire? Retirement means cash flow. Cash flow that flows into you so that you don't have to work any longer. This is your 10-year retirement plan. So I could I could just keep all these properties, and the rents have probably gone up, and I can keep all 20 of them and still have cash flows flowing into me. But remember, that's hassle. I got to take care of the tenants. If something breaks, I got to go fix it. We want to be financially free, which means free so that the money flows into us without us having to work for it. So one strategy would be to take all of these properties and trade them in a 1031 tax-free exchange for a larger property, maybe an apartment building, 20 units, 30-unit apartment building. And therefore, you take all of these 20 properties and trade them for one big property with cash flow, let's say $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month flowing into you. You do have one building though. You can have it professionally managed, so the management company will take care of all the details for you and just send you a check as you sip the tall, cool ones on the beach in Tahiti. What's another strategy you could do? Well, let's take and sell the first 10 properties. Let's take all of that equity that's built up there, and let's pay off all the mortgages on the remaining 10. Now we have 10 free and clear houses that are pumping out cash. Properties that are still increasing in value. The rents will be going up over a period of time. We have an amazing free cash flow flowing into our life. And that's kind of like the strategy. Buying 2 properties a year for 10 years gives you the opportunity to become financially free. This is called the strategy of people who are really, really smart. And most people can't do this. Most people aren't willing to sacrifice for 10 years. Now, I did a challenge with the Fox News program in New York City, the nationwide Fox station. And I was invited by Neil Cavuto to come on the show. And we invited 101 of my millionaires from all around the United States. They made their money in all kinds of different ways. Some of them made it in the stock market. Some of them made it in businesses. Some of them made in various different investments that they had. But one of the ladies, right in the middle of the group, I'll never forget this. I said, well, how did you make your money? And she says, well, I did the strategy you taught me, Bob. I just bought 2 properties a year for 10 years. Now, all of those properties are free and clear. She had held them long enough so that the mortgages had all been paid down to zero, and she still had 20 properties free and clear. Talk about rich, just cash flow flowing into her life from properties all around her city. That's one person. That's a smaller person, a person you've never heard of before. One of my good friends, Robert Kiyosaki, did this exact same strategy back when my book, Creating Wealth, came out. He bought it, gave it to his wife, and he said to his wife, you go do Robert's strategy. Go buy 20 properties, 2 properties a year for 10 years. And so she did it in 18 months. Now, at the end of the 20 years, they had thousands of properties. At the end of the 30 years, they had 6,900 properties because they were in the process of buying real estate. You may not be into the thousands of property category. Maybe you just want to retire. Now, you could do it the ordinary way, which is to work for somebody else, having them tell you what to do, what time to come to work, what time to leave to go home, some boss that stands over you and directs your entire life for 40 years. Or you can just do this simple strategy. On the side, as a side hustle, while you go to work for the next 10 years, just do this strategy. This will set you financially free. This is what I call the financial freedom plan. Do this and you'll be financially free for the rest of your life. Come closer. So this is the formula. Time plus smart investments equals financial freedom. You want to be financially free? You need this book. This book will teach you the secrets for buying property with little or no money down. Click on the link down below and order this free book, and let's get you started. Hey, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell and watch the next video where there's even more secrets there.